All right, we are back with the slightly taller guy and dead Shorty. Shorty, how you feeling, man? Are you actually dead right now, or what? Or am
I
I
feel
just?
I feel a little dead inside. I'm pretty tired. I'm not gonna
Well, let's
lie. I'm
talk about.
super tired.
Well, let's talk about that. Why are you so tired, man? Let's talk.
Dude, I've been so busy since my birthday. Given I've been here training with Lazy Boy, helping him for his fight at the Spear, which I'm very happy about.
Hmm.
But all right, this is my little venting session. You ready? All right.
All right.
So I thought I was gonna fight in August for Brave. They moved me for I guess the event got canceled. I'm like, okay, things happen. All right, gonna fight September. They didn't tell me a time, and I'm like, okay, cool. Fight September. I'll be good. Then I'm waiting because I'm spending this money. I was in Mexico, then I came back to Vegas, and again, this isn't free. I don't live here. I'm technically from Chicago still, and so
Hmm.
um, they go, yeah, yeah, September, September. I'm just like, dude, I kind of need to know so I can figure some stuff out with my coaches, my trainers, stuff like that. And then at the
Yeah.
end of it, they're like, hey, yeah, no, we're gonna have you fight in December, and I'm like, what?
Bastards.
Like I was, this is my. I haven't fought three times for Brave since I signed with them in 2019. Now, half of it was my fault, half of it their fault. Obviously, things happened in my life. My father passing away, me getting ill or hurt during fights or in training camps, and then obviously things happen where it's political or events get canceled or opponents pull out, and that stuff happens. But I'm like,
Hmm.
that's the hard part about being a fighter is that you don't make money unless you fight. Now, my birthday was August 2nd, but because I found out I wasn't fighting, I was like, hey, I need to do different stuff. I have like an endorsement manager who got me a job to do some commercial work down in Florida. So I flew down to Florida
Yeah.
on my birthday. I flew. Everyone's like, oh, dude, we're gonna go to this arcade and play this, play that. I'm like, oh, cool. I'm not used to celebrating my birthday, but I'm like, oh, cool. This is awesome. But the next, literally hours later, I found out I was gonna go on a flight to Florida. Flew to Florida, landed at 2 in the morning because my flight got delayed. Right when I landed, I did that commercial, and we finished at like 7:30 a.m. So then I got to my manager's house, was exhausted, was able to sleep all day. That was the present I actually wanted for my birthday because I was so damn tired. And then they took me out to dinner, and that was great. Got to spend like a day or two there, hang out, and then came back, started training again. Um, but I was only here for a day. Then I went immediately to Idaho to corner another fighter. Um, and for people who coach fighters, like if you actually do care about your athletes, it's not just a job, but it's emotional as well. When your fighter's cutting weight, like you feel bad for them. Sometimes you feel their
Yeah.
pain. You might not be cutting weight with them, but sometimes you're also in the sauna with them. So you're like, fuck, dude, I'm tired, but I also don't want to be chugging water in front of these guys because I can't. Like, I
Yeah.
kind of semi want to suffer with them so they feel a little bit better. And my fighter did what he did. He fought, and dude, it was a back and forth battle. And me, I'm screaming, I was like, and he ended up winning. It was a split decision. It was a very close fight, and something he definitely mentally needed as well. So I was happy I was able to go. We celebrated that night. And the next day came back and just immediately started training. So I was like, fuck, I'm tired. Then obviously I started my other podcast, got that together, and as you already know, this does take hours in your day of going back to
Hmm.
back to back to back to back
Yeah.
interviews. So I did all that, but I've been doing like these mountain runs and all this other stuff. But today was like I'm semi able to relax tomorrow. But today we woke up at 5:50 and ran at 6:30 in the morning at Red Rock. So we ran 10 miles, which takes about give or take like an hour and a half for me. And dude, it's not that it's hard. It's just one, it's long, but then two,
Hmm.
it was windy as hell today. For some reason, the wind's like you're going that way, like we're just gonna like fuck you over. So
Hmm.
no matter if you go downhill, like it almost feels like you're going uphill no matter what. So I'm
Yeah.
just tired, and I got back, and I live in a house of 8 people, which I love everyone here, but I also don't get my privacy, and I'm a person that likes to seclude myself when I'm tired. Like I need to refill my energy, and
Yeah.
I'm in a
For sure.
room with 5 other people. So there's not really much privacy no matter what. And then you also have people who are awake that are downstairs that are very loud and enthusiastic. And again, having a great time, nothing against them, but I'm just like, fuck, I just want to be on myself. So it's been a day and I'm tired. And I just woke up from a nap. So I ran over here. I was just like, let's go. So
Yeah.
yeah.
You had a power
And I
nap.
gotta
Like.
I gotta I gotta I gotta do stuff after this too. So I got more errands to do after this.
Shit.
Yeah.
You were
So
a man
life.
on a mission. You've been a
So
man on
while
a
there's
mission.
UFC fights and LFA fights yesterday and PFL today or yesterday, I'm fighting for my life. Nah, just my mental health. I'll be fine. We need to.
Yeah, no, it sounds like you've had quite the stuff going on. Well, this is episode 14 and this is
We're
the
on
first half of
14.
we are on 14. I'm pretty sure. If I got that wrong, that's my bugaboo,
No,
but
I didn't even know we're past 10, dude. That is awesome. Yeah, I get hit in the head a
yeah.
lot, man. I
So
forget.
there you go. There's a positive. Yeah, man, like that's crazy. And like I think people get the wrong impression when if a fighter's not fighting, they think, oh, you're just, you're doing your normal training, which I'm sure you do your normal training. But I think like the average person that doesn't know, or if you don't hear about it, you think the guys just kind of train and just fuck around and whatnot. But that's just not the case. Like, you're cornering guys. If you have to travel, you got to travel. If a fighter's fighting in wherever you're traveling with them, and it's commitment too, even though like and I'm sure like you're tired and you're like, but you gotta go.
Hmm. Yeah, dude.
And
It's. I'm just trying to like. I know, for example, I'm contracted with, or under contract with Brave. Now,
mhm,
I've been waiting to talk to them. They've been doing so many back-to-back events. It's hard to talk to the president. But what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to fight as soon as possible for whatever event that isn't MMA, because obviously it's a conflict of interest if I do LFA or Titan or UFC or PFL or whatever the case may be. Me, I just want to fight, dude. I don't give a fuck. Especially since I've been training, I'm in shape, I'm getting punched in the
mhm,
face, but also for free, and I'm like actually losing money doing recovery stuff or just everyday life. It's like
yeah,
when you fight, it just in a sense goes to your savings account and then slowly goes down. So for
yeah,
me, it's like I need to fight. So honestly, I'm trying to find a fight in September. I know Karate Combat has an event. There's Jiu-Jitsu events. There's boxing events. As long as I can get Brave to agree on it, which respectfully, hopefully they should and will. Especially when you see some UFC fighters doing Karate Combat and stuff like that. Like I'd love to do something like that. Possibly get another one in October if I'm healthy, and then I know Brave is having an event in December. I want to do that as well. I believe Anthony Pettis is having a boxing event in November in Milwaukee. Dude, I would fucking love to do that, especially what they did when it was like Jose Aldo versus what was his name? He knocked him out with a body shot in UFC. Oh god.
Jeremy
Anyways,
Stevens.
there you go, Jeremy Stevens. There was a
Yeah,
bunch of other UFC fighters that had rematches in that event. Like I'd love to do something like that. Maybe I fight Ray Borg. Maybe I fight Ryan Benoit. Maybe I fight another UFC flyweight that obviously is a little bigger now. We don't have to cut the weight, so we can have some fun
mhm,
with that. So for me, I'm just trying to figure out some shit, and it's
yeah.
like, man, I think I need to sell my car and do all this other stuff to do this 24/7 without having to get a real full-time job to where I have to now split my time between training and working.
Yeah, yeah, no, it seems like you got your hands full. But on the other side of things, I mean, you started your podcast, so talk about how that's been going though.
It's
The
been going
Shorty
well.
Show.
I do want to say it's fun as hell to shoot because in person, dude, I can get anyone to talk.
Yeah.
Now,
Yeah.
how comfortable they would be, maybe being a little more personal or personally open, is a whole different thing. But I know I can get people to talk, and it's fun talk. I'm not trying to like expose people's secrets or whatever. So I was so far. I've interviewed 3 people. I've interviewed Alex Perez. The funny thing is, for people who don't know, he's the person who beat me in the UFC. That was my very first loss in 33 straight wins in MMA. So I got to have fun interviewing him, like, and we both talked about the psychology of the sport, our mindsets of
Hmm.
like how we're friends now, but obviously when we fought, like, go fuck yourself, like we're just enjoying it. And then now, constantly, we're kind of in a sense fighting where he's cornering Ode and I'm cornering Lazy Boy, where they fight each other at the spear. Next,
Hmm.
I coached. I interviewed Daniel Sahuber, which he fights at the spear as well, and then I interviewed Lazy Boy for my third interview, which should be really fun because that actually caught me off guard. That guy is a mixture of emotions where I'm thinking it's going to be super fun and enthusiastic, and out of nowhere, it looks like he's going to cry in the beginning. I'm like, what the fuck? Like, dude, why'd you get so serious? Like, you made it so deep and serious, which is great. But holy fuck, it just took a twist, and at the end, he just like, yeah, So it was fun with that. I'm trying to. I am interviewing Christian Rodriguez, C Rod tomorrow, one of Anthony Pettis' guys. Um, Tomorrow afternoon, so that should be a lot of fun. He's down in Vegas now, and I'm just trying to get some more people in. Hoping to get Ode Osborne as well. I know Patchy Mix and Tatiana Suarez want to do an interview. Julian Rosa wants to do an interview, and Biagio Walsh and so many other people. Sadly, a
Yeah.
lot of people somehow left this weekend from Vegas. I'm like, damn it! So I'm trying to get actually Forrest Griffin on this show as well. Him and I have been talking a lot, so I'm gonna try to like
Nice.
sneak that little question in. So yeah, we'll see, man. The hard thing is, as you already know, podcasts now are everywhere compared to when Joe
It's
Rogan
everywhere.
and
Yeah.
Brendan Schaub started. Like, the market was still very open, so it's like, okay, it was very limited to what to choose from. Now it's like, shit, like there's a lot, and they're all semi similar. So how could
Mhm.
yours stick out a little bit more? So for me, I know I do give very fun interviews, and I'm hoping that I can get people on the show and have some fun. And the hardest part is getting a crowd to actually support you. So that's, everyone says they do, but then you look at the numbers and like, nope, you're still saying go fuck me. So yeah.
Yeah, and you know what? That's just a thing, right? So you brought up a really good point, and so there's two things. One, you talk about the podcast being everywhere, and it's true. And for the longest time, you had a few people that did podcasts. Okay, the biggest one I think everyone knows, the Joe Rogan Experience, right? He was one of the very big ones, and you had different podcasts, right? We're not just talking about MMA. We had we had podcasts for whatever you were going on about, but for the most part, it was pretty limited, like you said. And then it seems like everyone kind of, I don't know if it was COVID, but it seemed like everyone had the same idea. Everyone wanted to just start doing podcasts and just think, I'm just gonna throw up a podcast and that's fine. And that's cool. And I think it's great that a lot of fighters do it, but then you get so many, and then it's like, I mean, I don't know. You see a lot of cross pollination, right? Like you see, oh, I'm going on his podcast, now he's going to come on
Hmm.
mine, and all that. But I kind of like what you're doing because I think most podcasts should be open and fun, but yours seems there's no secret that it's going to be fun. You're not coming in
Hmm.
to be serious. You're not coming in to just be like, okay, so what do you think about this fight against so and so? It's just you're
Yeah.
coming in, you're just having a good time, and that's how it should be. Like fighters, you guys get punched in the face all day. The last thing you want to do is have to do another interview or do another serious topic when you just come in and just shoot the shit and have fun, and that's how it should be, and that's what we do too. And and that's what, and I think that's great, man. And and then second part, oh yeah, and then second part I was gonna say was the part with like everyone doing podcasts, right? I can remember I started doing my own little MMA outlet before I joined MMA Unhinged. And I started it out more because I just had a passion just to do podcasts and whatnot. And then I kind of turned into more media where I was just doing straight interviews, not really doing podcasts. And I started doing it because I was like, yeah, I actually want to talk with fighters. It doesn't even, I don't care about so much about, all the things that come with, YouTube and whatnot. I enjoy talking with fighters. I like to get to know people and their experiences and whatnot. And the next thing you know, COVID comes around and you're seeing like all these different independent outlets. And I'm not
Hmm.
talking about MMA junkie, or I'm talking about these little independent people like myself, and they're all popping up everywhere. And they're all trying to get into the same fighter. And I'm like trying to talk with one fighter and like, yeah, sorry, I got this person this day, but I couldn't get you in this day. He's like, no, man, I can't do it. So it's like, it was really like, it was hard. Like as much as it was COVID made everything kind of more open, but it's so hard to get interviews, right? So is that kind of what you got going on? It's like you're kind of competing with other podcasters, or
Well, the hard thing is, everyone, like for example, Lazy Boy, and it was funny because my co-host Justin Hong, he's more the producer of the show, and every once in a while will ask a question, but it's pretty much my show. He's just
yeah,
sitting next to me, and with the laptop figuring stuff out. And me, on the other hand, people know me, so it helps. Like, I know these fighters. I punch these fighters in the face. They punch me in the face, so it's a
hmm,
little more personal.
yeah,
And they understand that I'm trying to do something big. So when they come on the show, they're honestly doing me a favor. They go,
yeah,
you know what? Like, you're fun to talk to. I hang out with you anyways. You might as well put it on camera. Hopefully, I don't get canceled, and we have a good time. But with other fighters, or excuse me, with other podcasts, especially when you don't know them, it's like me, I say yes almost every interview because you just don't know. Like maybe an extra person follows me from it, dude. I gained one extra follower, but a person like Lazy Boy has 500,000 followers already. One follower to him probably doesn't mean that much. So for him, it's like,
Yeah,
dude, I remember he told me, he goes, Shorty, is this your show or is he running it? I was like, what do you mean? He goes, because if it's his podcast and you're just so happen to be on it, dude, I got to charge him to have me on the show because I have 500,000 followers. I know that he's going to use my name to grow his and he's going to make money off of it. And I'm not going to make any money. I don't give a fuck about this guy. You know, he goes, and I'm saying that politely. He goes, but if it's for you, I'm more than happy to jump on the show because I want you to make money. I want you to succeed. And if I make money out of it, I know we're going to make money together. But he goes, for
yeah,
other people, no, 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 I'm going to charge them to have me on the show because I know I'm going to just naturally, like right now, I literally posted a picture of Lazy Boy and I usually, I don't know if I'm like Instagram blocked or hidden or whatever the case may be. For some reason, like my posts haven't been going out there. But now I was reaching, I think, 100, maybe 200 to 300 likes. Now with
yeah,
Lazy Boy, I collabed with him. He's like, yeah, dude, collab with me. I'll share it. Dude, we got like, 2,000 likes in maybe like 3 hours, and
yeah,
I don't know how many comments, which is hilarious because we're wearing singlets. So his thing is like, you can see the outline of his thingy thing. And so everyone's making fun. And I was like, fuck it, like it's funny material. But try to make a serious post and everyone just calls it the little thing. Anyways, um, so you just never know. So for me, trying to ask fighters, that's why I want to pick up my show first, and hopefully people support, enjoy the show, and like it to where they're actually liking the page, they're subscribing, and then I go, hey man, I can actually put this as a business deal for a lot of these fighters. Like, hey Patchy, besides you being my friend, like, dude, come on the show. I have 1,000 whatever subscribers. Like, maybe it gets to be posted out there. Or for example, my guy creates a lot of the reels off of it. So I was like, hey, worst comes to
yeah,
worst, like, come on through. You get free material. Like, some of these fighters don't post, and all they post is about fighting. It's like, dude, this is a really good opportunity for people to know and enjoy who you are instead
yeah,
of
yeah,
you're just a fighter in the cage. Like, somebody tell Patchy, especially Patchy, because I'm like, dude, you're so like everywhere you go, like you're just a fighter. People only know the fighter, but they don't know your upbringing. They don't know that you're from Maryland. They don't know that you're half white, half black. They don't know the upbringing that you came up through. Like, for people who don't know what Steakum is, like that's because you didn't grow up in the hood. Patchy and I know what Steakum is. We literally asked Tatiana, we're like, hey, do you like Steakum? She goes, what the hell steakum? I was like, oh no, she's never had steakum. Steakum's like freezer meat. Like they're like pieces of bologna almost, but it's meat, and you just pull them off and then you cook them. Like they're the fastest, cheapest slash nastiest, almost sometimes depends on the day how you cook them
I've
meals,
had a
but they're
steak.
fucking delicious.
I've had a steak before.
Yeah, but a lot of people haven't. They're like, what the fuck's a steakum? So like it's funny because we can talk about that. So that's something I want to like get him on the show about, and like expose who people really are, have fun, not just the
Yeah,
fighter life of the typical question. Hey, so you're fighting this guy. Are you ready? And it's like, no, come on, man. I don't want to talk about that shit. Everyone does that. That's for sure. I want to be a mixture of like Joe Rogan and Theo Vaughn, where it's like Joe
yeah,
Rogan is
yeah,
super smart with his questions. He pinpoints everything and he understands his guests and he has fun with them. But then Theo Vaughn just plays with everything. He's still very serious sometimes, but he plays with everything so much and he puts the jokes on himself, not the other person in their profession. So I think that honestly is super fun and to me a perfect mixture of a good podcast where it's still fun, relax, and you're gonna have you're gonna gain some knowledge, but you're gonna laugh in the meantime as well.
yeah. And that's you know what, and that's what and that's I think you're doing the right thing, man. And I think you're going the right boat. And also, I was really impressed with how you guys edited everything. So I gotta ask, I want the behind the scenes details, right?
Yeah.
I think I can get it here. So how did you get the cameras to move all in different spots? Did you film them all at the same time and then you just individually edit that? Because that's a lot of work. Whoever did that.
Yeah, so my guy Justin Hong has 3 cameras, and we'll do one on this chair, one on that chair, and one
Yeah.
as the open frame, and as a wide shot, and then he just edits from there, man. He
Oh my
just
gosh.
all right, cool, and then does it from there, and we all have microphones since he's sometimes the fourth person because I know for Lazy Boy we had to have a translator there. He has a microphone and he just kind of goes at it from there. So I remember telling him, and this is my investment on him as well. I go, hey man, I was on his show called the Still Friends podcast, or it was Still Friends show, yeah, and a funny show, great show. I've been on it twice, and I think I said I thought I had AIDS on it once. So it was actually really fun. It's a really popular video on my page. It's actually I think really funny, but he edits it so well. I'm like, dude,
Yeah.
um, what do you charge to do a podcast? Because I wanted to do an in person thing here. I wanted to see if I can find a studio and rent it out. And one of the places I wanted to go to closed down. A lot of like corrupt shit was happening there. And so he goes, hey man, well if you want, like I think you're fun as a host. You and I get along pretty well. Like it'd be fun to have you on the show. Um, I'll take it as an investment of me sponsoring you, and hopefully when we start making money, you give me the money first. I was like, dude, I'll give you all the money. I don't give a fuck. Like I do this for free. I just
Yeah.
want to be able to
Yeah.
pick this up to where now we're both making money. I was like, my job is technically easiest. Yes, I can interview and I'm bringing in the celebrities, but the fact is, like, it doesn't what's the thing? It's like I know some really bad fighters out there that are making fucking millions of dollars because they know how to promote. They know how to make
Exactly.
videos. They know how to edit. They
Yeah.
know how to do all these things. So I could be a
Yeah.
horrible podcast host and still be super famous and popular because he's doing the extreme work, and that's something I don't
Yeah.
know how to do. I know how to talk, as you can
Yeah.
tell, but so he's been doing everything. So Justin Hogman, shout out to him. He's a phenomenal guy, and I definitely, hopefully, if everything goes well, because I know this is time for him as well and time is money. He's taking care of me, and hopefully one day I can do the same thing back.
Yeah, definitely. And I honestly, I actually watched it at work when you premiered it, and that was really good. I really enjoyed it. It was really good production. Obviously, I love to do something on that scale. Unfortunately, just where I'm at and everything, I just can't, and I'm doing everything online. But I still like it. It's for me. I don't know. I've done stuff in person before, and I uh I think sometimes if I got the cameras and I got the pressure, I think I would do better online anyway, but in person, I'm sure it might be a different experience. Um, but yeah, like I really do, and I really enjoyed the production, everything. You guys have all the guys in there, and the room and everything. It was really really cool. Um, One thing I wanted to bring up though is I just saw it, and I don't know if you heard about it, but a particular guy just got signed with Brave CF. This
Hmm.
particular guy was in the UFC, and this particular guy is Muhammad Makayev. I think you should fight that guy.
It's funny. I've already texted Mohammed Shahid saying I do want to fight him. I mean, he's a brother of
Yeah,
mine. I consider him like a little brother because he texts me for every single fight. Hey, what do you think about this matchup? What do you think about that matchup? Do you think this is smart? And I go, yeah, man, because I technically had a failed UFC experience. Again, it could
yeah,
be I can blame them, I can blame myself, but I always blame myself for multiple reasons. But whatever opportunity I had, I didn't take full advantage of it. So I want to give him the best experience. And
yeah,
100%, I'm team hater. And if you watch the Lazy Boy episode, I'm team hater. Like I was like, how the fuck do you gain 500,000 followers after one win in the UFC? Like I was just talking shit, but obviously I'm super happy for him. I'm just like, damn it, I wanted that. So same thing with Mohammed Mokaev. He's like a 2.0 version of me, to where I remember when we trained in 2020 or 2021, we sparred and I would still beat him up a little bit, but I'm just like, dude, wait until you're my age. Like, once you're my age, you're gonna fucking
yeah,
kill me. Like, and I can tell you that, like, because he would feel like, oh, he's competitive, as we all are. And I remember, like, dude, at the time, I think he was like 21, 22. And I'm like, dude, what are you mad about? Like, at the time, I'm 28 or 29. Like, I should be better than you. I'd be disappointed if I wasn't better than you. And it's not that
yeah,
I'm better than you. I think physically you're a lot more talented than I am. I'm just smarter right now. I have a lot more experience. You're still getting there and you're doing this at 22. Like I'm doing it now at 29, almost 30. So for me, and I told him I'm 32 now. I think he's 24, give or take. Well, I don't know how old he is. He's young, dude. But the fact is, like, I'd love to fight him. I think our resumes match up really well. I was the first ever two-time world champion. he was, the follow, of seeing what I did. He became a two-time world champion in the IMF as well. I had this great accolade in Titan FC, two division champ, and then eventually Brave champion and UFC veteran. I won 33 straight. I think he's on a 35 straight. He hasn't lost yet. I obviously eventually lost, but you have a kid who's, in the U or was in the UFC, probably was he ranked top 5, top 6 in the
Yeah, he
UFC,
was top
and
5. Yeah.
I ended up beating one of the guys that I believe is top 3 in Amir Albazi, which is the only person who's ever done it. I also became Brave champion, so I think with all the accolades, like, it would just be a fun fight. Like, it's not even
Yeah,
because I'm like, "Oh, I hate everything you have. I wanna beat you." It's like, "No, man, look at the benefits. If you fight me and beat me, I have a resume. If you fight anyone else and beat anyone else in Brave, no offense, they're not really known, so no one cares. But if you beat
exactly.
me, especially to the UFC, to PFL, to you beat an American who has a name that could be in those promotions as well, it's like, oh shit, this kid is the real deal. And he's still only in his early 20s. Like, that makes sense. Also, if he loses to me, that also makes sense. Like, fuck, he lost to another former champ or another high level decorated fighter compared to, again, me with my last opponent. I'm not at all trying to put him down, but he still doesn't have a name. It's like, Nkosi in the belly beats me. Fuck, it doesn't look good on me, because he had half my fights. Good fighter, not at all putting him down, but when it comes to resume wise, it doesn't help. So even
Mhm.
when I lost to him, even though luckily it was for the belt, if it's just another fight, it's like, oh fuck, this guy's he's done. So for Muhammad Mokaev and myself, it's like this only makes sense. So for me, that's another reason why I'm cutting down the flyweight. I want to be able to try to gain the flyweight championship, and I believe, and that's something I'm pitching to Brave. I think Mike Tyson has a quote. He fought one of his friends, and I guess his friend needed money. He was going through a divorce, all that stuff, and his friend hit him up. He goes, Tyson, I'd love to fight you. And he goes, I'm struggling right now. And I know if I fight you, I'm going to make a lot of money. Can you help me? And he goes, yeah, man, I'm your brother. I wouldn't be your brother if I said no. And I think
Mhm.
taking that fight is a very honorable thing because, again, there's only benefits to both of us and a very small downfall. Yes, technically one of us has to lose. But the fact is, I just think it's nothing but stuff to gain. Plus, we're competitive. We don't want to fight people that we
Yeah.
know that we can beat. It's like I want to fight someone. I'm like, oh shit, this kid is good, or for him, oh damn, this veteran is good. So, damn, I feel old saying I'm a veteran now, but the fact is, like, yeah, I think the Muhammad Mokaev is a fight to make, and I wanted to be in Bahrain in December.
Yeah, and you know what? From a point too, it you guys only benefit as well because he's got a lot of hype that came from the UFC. Now he's going to, and I
Mhm.
think the biggest question was where was he going to go? Because basically UFC said see you later, and now he's like, where am I going to sign? And he goes to Brave CF. Well, I want to call him FC. I don't know why I want to call him Brave FC. I want to
Yeah.
call him Brave FC, Brave CF.
Oh,
Um,
it's a natural thing.
it's always so confusing.
Fighting challenge. Yeah.
Yeah, there's so many promotions or like FC or whatever. But anywho, and he goes to Brave. So I think it's a great opportunity for both of you. I don't see why they can't put that fight in. I mean, you guys can both fight at the same weight class, and you
Mhm.
aren't too far away. Like you're not too far. I don't know what if they have really rankings. If you can clarify with that, I don't really know if they have rankings. But you just had a title fight, so you be still in that realm of the title
I've
picture.
had 3 title fights. I've had 3 title fights,
Yeah.
and
So
the fact is, like, I mean, realistically, I look at it from a business perspective too. Besides the promotion, all that stuff, like publicity and all that, I know now. I'm assuming Mokaev gets paid more than I do. Now, I was one of the higher paid guys, a part of Brave. They're apparently saying he's getting paid 3 times more. Now, that's just an assumption that, again, I don't know his fucking deal. But the
mhm,
fact is, I assume he's at my level, if not higher. Again, he's a prospect, still growing. Like, for sure, pay this kid. He deserves it. He works really hard. He's undefeated. Why not? But with that being said, when you pay someone, and I've kind of felt the backlash of it, when you have a promotion that's still growing, again, it's not the most popular promotion in the world, but it doesn't mean it's not one of the greatest. They have money, but they're still learning how to properly use their higher paid athletes, and you
Mhm.
don't want to put their higher paid athletes in every single event because now you're going to lose money as well. So they want to save them. That's also another reason I've only fought twice a year because I'm at the bigger events. So they want to, market me and use me properly. So for me, I know in December they are going to have their event in Bahrain, which is their biggest event every single year at the end of the year. It's their last event. So it's like, dude, me and Mokaev being a main event, like that makes nothing but sense. That makes all your money worth it compared to you fly Mokaev and he fights in Russia against just some average Joan. It's like, eh. Same deal with me. You fly me to Colombia or Mexico or Puerto Rico or wherever all the these Latin countries, and I fight some whatever guy. Is it worth your money? Probably not. So let's get the fans what they want, and even the promotion what they deserve, and that's a super fan entertaining fight.
No, you were saying about earlier, and I know you said this before. They're pushing you back to December. Did they talk to you about why is it a particular opponent that they want to set you up with, or what? Like, what's going on?
So so the rumor was, again, I don't know per se. This is all just word of mouth. Is we were trying to get a fight with Ray Borg in
That's
August,
right. Yeah.
and Ray Borg again. I love the guy to death. So it would have been a very very fun fight. I used to train with him before back in 2016 at Jackson Wink, but I know he recently retired. But Brave contacted him and was like, "Hey," and I remember he questioned. He's like, "Hey, is Brave a good promotion?" I'm like, "Yeah, they pay well, especially for UFC veterans. Come on, come on through." And then I was like, "Oh
Yeah.
fuck, I think they want me to fight, Ray Borg." And so that was an assumption. Now they were telling me it was going to be Ray Borg for August 3rd in Colombia. Something happened and the event got dropped. And so they're like, hey, nothing's happened. We're going to move you to September. And we also believe it might be a different opponent. I was like, okay, cool, whatever. Because I remember seeing Ray Borg and fighters, we don't judge like that, but we kind of know when somebody is not trying to lose weight. And we're like, oh man, Ray Borg's still enjoying his life to the fullest. So I was like, yeah, I don't think this fight's happening. So eventually they told me, hey, we're moving you to September. So I don't know if they were able to sign him or sign a deal or whatever the case may be, but they moved me to whatever event in September. And they had literally four events, or for sure three, and nothing happened out of it. And I was like, hey, man, come on, man. Like, I'm just trying to get a fight, especially if I got to start cutting weight now. Like, you got to let me know. And nothing came about. So they're just
Mhm.
like, we think it's better to have you in December because Bahrain is my second home when it comes to MMA, and especially for Brave, they promote the hell out of me there. They take care of me personally while I'm there, and they're like, screw it, why not just take them away from September? We save the money and move them to December. Business wise, it makes sense, but only for them. For me, I was like, haha, man, fuck, obviously I got to take care of my own stuff, but the fact is, I'm healthy and I'm now 32. Like, I'm not saying next year I'm going to retire, but you just never know. I might have a year left. I might have one fight left. I might have 10 years left. I don't fucking know. But the fact
Yeah.
is, this career is so limited. So I just want to fight and take advantage of the time that I have. That's why I want to do all these outside events.
Yeah, and I mean, even if you have this fight in December, you could have a really hard or not bad fight. I'm not saying you're gonna fight bad, but you're gonna have a really
Yeah.
hard fight where you could get hit the wrong way in the head, and then you go to the doc, and doc says, "Yeah, no more, shorty. Like you're done." Or like, I
Yeah.
recommend you don't fight
I'm,
anymore
I'm,
because you take one more shot to the forehead or whatever, and your
no,
CTE,
it's,
yeah, like you're done. So it's
I'm
yeah,
dead
like
shorty
it's
all over again.
yeah, so it's yeah, it's a bit of a gamble, and you know what? Speaking of people fighting, I heard that uh, I think what's his name? They made the fight. It was a light heavyweight fight. Poton and geez, I don't want to butcher his name.
Khalil Roundtree?
I think so. I mean, like the guy,
Yeah.
like in saying that, I think it's pretty safe to assume that UFC is making him their I don't want to say cash cow, but like he's the guy's fought like every I don't know like 50 days. It's just
Yeah.
insanity like how much that guy's fighting. Um and doing that at like 36, 37 years old. Like that's to be able to do something like that, and I'm not calling the guy old, but as we age, we just naturally you just might not be able to do what you
Hmm.
could do at 25, right? I gotta imagine that for a guy like that who he's been in a lot of fights, so he's taken some damage in his career. Maybe not his last few fights, But in his career, he has taken damage, and for a guy that's still fighting the way he is, and frequently he is at 36, 37 years old, that's only got to do so much, and inspire such older guys that might be fighting on their third tier of their career.
I mean, it's different though, and I think we've talked about it once before in another episode. Is old or bigger guys can have longer careers. They
Yeah.
don't take as many shots compared to the small guys. Small guys, we don't hit as hard, but we take an accumulation of shots every single fight. You know, you look at Brandon Moreno and Figueredo, even though they fought four
Hmm.
times, dude, they were going to war every single fight. Like that's a
Yeah, it's
lot of
core
punches
fights.
from both people, whether they're getting dropped or not. Dude, that's a lot of brain damage, physical damage, and I can tell you at 32, people always mess with me. They're like, dude, you're 32, you have a really good career. I was like, I've already had 42 MMA fights, plus 50 plus in Muay Thai, kickboxing, hundreds in
Hmm.
wrestling, all this stuff. Like, my body's taking a toll, you know, and I want to be
Yeah.
able to do this as long as I can. And I'm trying my best to adapt. And you know, I'm not an old man per se by age, but physically, sometimes I'm like, fuck, you know, and me even making the call to go back down the flyweight, I'm like, oh, fuck, this sucks, you know, like I'm leaning out, I'm slowly getting there. But the fact is, like, it does and it is going to take a toll on my body. And I know when I was younger, I abused my metabolism a little bit too much, where I'm like, oh, I know I can cut this weight and do this and do that. And even just internally, like, I can't even digest food like I used to before because I did so many bad
Yeah.
things during my weight cuts that sometimes I can't even hold the food that I used to eat regularly, you know, or I love spicy food. That shit literally kills me, you know. So there's a lot of things where I'm like, wow, this has really changed my life. So, you know, for the heavier weight classes, you know, Pierre, dude, that's I'm happy for you, you know. But also, luckily for him, and I really do say luckily because I think again he's a phenomenal fighter, but he's only fought stand up fighters. Like Cleo Roundtree, I think there was a post saying that he's never taken a shot in his entire career. Like the fuck. So he's fighting literally everyone that he should be fighting. But if he were to fight, you know, what's that light heavyweight who's a wrestler? Like anyone else,
Megamed.
yeah. Oh, dude,
Anklov.
that would be
I
horrible
can't
for him.
pronounce half these Russians guys' names, okay?
That's fine. That's fine. It's something with Magomedov, or at least off at the end. But the fact is,
Megamedov,
if
yeah.
they're Dagestani. But the fact is, like, if he were to fight a wrestler, dude, like, yeah, maybe he can knock him out. I'm not saying he can't, but if he gets taken down, he's fucked. Like a guy who knows how to wrestle, not just gets him down and tries to hold him down. No, somebody who knows how to wrestle. And that's, dude. If Daniel Cormier was still in the UFC, like he'd be fucked. Like Daniel Cormier would wreck him, you know, or John Jones, he would wreck him at light heavyweight. So it's um it's kind of like Cyril Gahn versus John Jones. That's how the fight would be.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, and that's the thing, like, you can have people that know how to wrestle. I think in today's world, everybody knows how to wrestle. So if I started doing MMA, 5, 6, 7 years ago, I would know, okay, my specialty is Shotokan, okay? But I mean, I would learn the wrestling, I would learn all this, but my strength should be my stand up. So yeah, everybody's gonna know. Okay, everyone knows how to shoot for a takedown. I would hope so, um, but you have certain fighters that just know how to wrestle, and I mean, not just I can take you down and I can hold you down. They got guys like Bilal Muhammad. You got guys that know
Mm-hmm.
or like Khabib. I mean, perfect example. Just knows where to be and knows how someone moves and how to put yourself in that position to get them in a spot that you want them in. And that's where I think Poton, I want to see someone fight him, someone that I want to see if he can fight someone who can take him down and he can get back up and he can survive and he can knock the guy out or do whatever, then I don't know what to say who else, I don't know who's gonna beat him, but this upcoming fight with Roundtree, um, I've seen the guy fight, and when I first heard about the fight being announced, I was kind of like, well, there must be something going on because you would think that Mega Mad was probably the next guy in line, but obviously, there's always things that happen behind the scenes, as you know,
Mm-hmm.
and I guess like I thought about, it, I'm like, but you know what? This is another fight that I can kind of see where I love Bilal, but for example, this was a when I heard about when I saw that fight happening, I love Bilal, but I never would count him out. But just stylistically, I was like, I don't know. Like, is he gonna get to? Is he gonna get to Leon? Because Leon can, he can shoot. He's defense is pretty good. And I mean, he could pick up Bilal apart really, really bad. Um, and and I thought, and then you get another fight, DDP and Israel Adesanya. Now I did have DDP winning that fight just because overall, and I mean he did exactly what I thought he was going to do. But there was just part of me thinking Israel, yeah, but I mean probably more sharper on the feet for sure. And but so this is another fight where I kind of see with the style matchup. I mean, you can't you can't look away from the power from Poton's hands, especially that left hook. But I mean, again, styles make matchups, and I think this could be another fight where this could be another kind of like uh upset, I guess, if you should say. Um because yeah, like I think a lot of people are counting the guy out, and that's sometimes, a man's worst enemy is doubt. When you doubt
Yeah,
your opponent like that and you just go in, you could stay in front of the cameras like, "Oh, I'm taking this guy seriously." Yeah, yeah. But, deep down you're like, this guy's I'll have him finish him first round. Um I think, yeah, man's worst enemy is doubt, and you should never go into a fight doubting your opponent. You just can't, because shit happens.
no, I've done
Literally,
that, and I
shit
received.
happens.
I've done that and received cuts all over my face because I was a jackass. I'm like, ah, I got this. I'll be fine. And that's a consequence that you have to face eventually. And I think for Alex, he's had so many fights, especially in glory, especially in kickboxing, that it's like, he's probably had those moments where it's like, oh, dude, I could beat this guy, and has been hurt or has lost or whatever the case may
Mhm.
be, or just like, oh shit, I wasn't expecting that. So it comes at different points. It came to me, 2 fights ago, where I'm like, oh shit, you know, um, I can't think I'm that much better than some people. Because maybe I am, but there's always opportunities, and especially in MMA. You look at Leon
Yeah.
Edwards, Kamar Usman, like, dude, the fifth round head kick knockout, like, holy shit, like, you
Yeah.
never know what could
Whoever
happen
would have
when
saw
you've been
that.
losing. Yeah, when you've been losing the entire fight. But I think with Alex Pereira, it's like, yeah, it's phenomenal he's winning. I'm not at all denying his skills. I'm not talking shit about his skills. I think he's a phenomenal fighter, but he's not an MMA fighter. Yeah, he's had a little bit of wrestling defense and maybe some jujitsu training, even if they just gave him the black belt or not. But the fact is, like, if he faces a real MMA fighter, it's a whole different sport. It is a whole
Mhm.
different type of fight because you look at some of these fighters. I think Henan Barrow versus Tia Dillashaw is a phenomenal example of
Yeah.
Henan Barrow should have won that fight. There's no reason why he should have lost that fight, especially on the feet. But everyone thought TJ was going to wrestle. So they expected a wrestler. And I don't know, he's switching stances, throwing punches, changing rhythms, throwing different combinations,
Yeah.
and then adding some wrestling with it every once in a great while to go, just remember, I can still take you down whenever I want. And Barao, he was like, what the fuck? I can't do shit because there's so many different things being thrown at me. I don't know if I got to be up here, got to sprawl to be down here. Oh, damn, there's knees and elbows. Like, it's a whole different sport when you just take it off the feet. So when you start mixing things up, it changes, and we saw that happen to Henan Barrow twice, and TJ
Yeah.
Dillashaw knocked him out twice. So the fact is, like, when you face a real MMA fighter that knows how to do these things against a one-style opponent, like, dude, it's in MMA at least, it's a very, very different thing. So that's why I think this next fight with Khalil Roundtree is very favorable for Alex. And not at all saying Khalil Roundtree can't do it, but stylistically, it's Alex Pereira's fight. So yeah, I mean, we'll see what happens. I think it's a great opportunity for Khalil Roundtree to obviously get the upset and hopefully make a lot of money and do all these things. But the Dagestani should have definitely gotten the fight.
Yeah, but Khalil Roundtree, man, he is a motherfucker. He is that guy. Like he is dangerous,
Oh yeah, for
and
sure. Not at all putting
y-
that down. He's a phenomenal fighter. I just personally believe that the Russian should have gotten it just because he's been waiting. The fans have been
oh,
talking
for
about it.
sure.
But I think the UFC is also, and again, like you said, is a cash cow. Like they're trying to keep their cash cow safe because they know this one's a smart fight. The one thing I admired about Connor was he's like, fuck it, I'll fight Khabib. Everyone's like, no, yeah, you probably shouldn't fight Khabib. He goes, no, I want to be the best. Fuck this guy. I want it. No, I am better. I will prove it. And obviously, it didn't go in his way, but you respect him for doing that.
And that's another thing too. Like a lot of people think that Connor was trying to pick his fights. Um, at the end of the day, maybe he had a little bit of say in who he wanted to fight, but for the most part, as far as I can look back when he was going through the featherweight division, he really didn't have. Um, I think he just kind of fought whoever they gave him, and maybe the UFC did kind of push, certain opponents, but he fought who he had to fight to get to the title, and once he beat Dennis Seaver, yeah, that was a fight with Aldo. Or no, sorry, he did fight Chad Mendes and then fought Aldo. But yeah, like he fought pretty much all those guys that were in that division at the time. And people think like Connor just wants to take easy fights. Okay, he called out Khabib, who is a nightmare for anybody to fight. Um,
Mhm.
and I mean, he went in and said, "Nope, I'll fight you," and he went in for like I think 5 rounds, and I think he's the only fighter to I think beat or to win a round against Khabib in like so many fights that Khabib had, and yeah, he had Khabib on skates for that fourth round there, and it was a close fight, and it I think when people are kind of shadowed by all the crap that Connor's done, like I don't condone what he's done outside the cage. I mean, he's a human being. People make mistakes, but besides outside the cage, like I mean, you got to give the guy respect, and I think a lot of people are shadowed by what people do outside the cage. Compared to what they do inside the cage, they think, well, the guy's kind of a dick outside the cage, so oh well, they're not, they don't see the true things that they're doing. So when he calls it someone like Khabib, they think, well, he must see something that's a weakness, like Khabib's not good on his feet, so but reality is everyone else says that, and then they all get taken down, and it's the same result. So respect to Connor for that.
Yeah, man, it's you know, at least for me, my example. I remember when I was in Titan, I won the belt against a guy who was 7-2. I was only 3-0 when I won it, and they're like, "All right, cool, let's figure out some smart fights for you because we're trying to get to the next level, which is the UFC." Me, I'm like, "Fuck that! I want to fight whoever's next in line." And at the time was Pedro Nobra. He was, I believe, 18 or 19-2, just lost to Tim Elliott, and they won a 5 round war. And Tim Elliott just fought for the belt, for against TJ. So I was like, dude, I want Pedro Nobra. Like, this is gonna help me out a lot mentally. They're
Yeah.
like, dude, this doesn't make sense paper wise. I'm like, I understand that, but I also saw Tim Elliott fight this guy personally, and I wasn't impressed by both at the time. So like, I just want to fight. Like, if I lose, dude, I did 100%. We all expect I'm gonna lose, but if I win, that shows how good I really am, how much I have that belief in myself that I can't beat this guy. And then plus, I'm the champion. The champion shouldn't pick his fights. The champion should fight whoever's next in line. You don't stop a raid and go, oh wait. You come up first. You come up first and attack me. It's like no, that's not
Yeah.
how it works. You fight whoever's next in line. That's how I believe it should be. Boxing obviously has manipulated that, and then MMA slowly kind of semi turning into it. But me, I wanted
A
to
little
fight
bit.
next in line, and I knocked the guy out 86 seconds. I'm like, dude, that fuck yeah, like the hell yeah. So I think it just shows how much better you are as a fighter, as a warrior that goes respectfully as well, knowing your capabilities of going, dude, I believe I can beat this guy. The whole Muhammad Ali concept, the whole Floyd Mayweather, the whole Manny Pacquiao, like I just want to fight the next best guy. Floyd was a little whatever, but up there. So the fact is, Alex is, but you also got to look at the caveat. No matter who Alex fights, he's making money. So he's taking care of his family. So, dude, if they tell him to fight a chicken, he'd do it. But if they told him to fight Khalil Roundtree or a Russian, I'd probably pick Khalil Roundtree too. Like, why not? If you get to pick your fights and all that stuff, dude, make your money. But as a fan, the Russian
The
should have
fans
got
see it
it. So
differently for sure.
yeah, so it's always can I make more money or should I be fan entertaining? This money can take care of my family, but this can define my legacy. But no offense, legacies sometimes don't make money, especially if you lose, because then there goes that fucking legacy. But you can still
Yeah.
keep on winning to eventually maybe face this guy later on. So
And
I'd go for the
yeah.
money too. I fuck
And
right now. I'm
that's
just trying to fight. Fuck, I'll fight him.
yeah, fuck yeah. Yeah. Call him up right now and be like, Alex, I don't give a shit.
Talking
Let's
about
get a
that,
dojo.
talking about that, I called out Jamal Hill in person when he was talking about like the 20,000. He's like, I'll spar anybody. I was like, I'll fuck you up. He's like, because I'm extra cool with him. He's like, Shorty, shut up. And I just started like, Alex this, Alex that. He goes, I'll fucking fight you. I was like, for 20,000. And he's like, "Shut up, man!" And there's supposed to be a sign. I'm like, "Damn
Yeah.
it! No one wants to let me fight."
You know what though? I can remember that reminds me of a situation when Jake Paul first started getting into boxing and was really fresh. And I mean, still people don't like the guy and people don't have his respect. But when he first started out, I can remember it was some fighter, something Pretty Boy Taylor. I don't know if you know him. I can't think of
Hmm.
his first name. Anthony Pretty Boy Taylor. I actually spoke with
Yeah,
him once,
yeah,
and I remember
cool guy.
talking with him about, and yeah, same thing. He kind of had a little feud with Jake Paul, but it was all they all worked it out, and then he paid the guy to go spar him, and he did. And he's like, well, like it is what it is. Like we sparred, and then I think I got the better of him, but I get paid to do it. Like hell yeah, why not? And then that kind
Yeah,
of entered, and then they were cool and they're tight, and they both I think he put Anthony on his boxing fight or that one card. I think there was a card when I think when Jake Paul fought that younger brother
Tyson,
he's
Low
yeah,
Fury.
yeah, Fury's little brother there. I think that's when he fought his little brother. Well, Anthony was on that card. I don't think he won the fight, but hell yeah, he got paid. So it's if fighters sometimes it's not about your yeah, like you said, it's not so much about your legacy. It's just about getting paid and hey, money
Yeah,
talks, man.
well, he ended up actually not too long ago. Misfits just had an event, and I know he's semi like a matchmaker in Misfits now because of that whole situation. So
Yeah,
one, he's making money doing that, and then two, they couldn't find a last minute replacement, so he stepped in on like 2 weeks' notice to fight this guy. He's like, "Yeah, I'll fucking fight him," and he knocked him out. And so it's like, dude, pretty boy, you're doing your thing. Like you're making money. You're the matchmaker. Hell, sometimes you can't find someone to fill in. I'll do it myself. Like you're doing the job. So I'm happy for him, and hopefully he finds me a fight for Misfits as well. But with that being said, it's like, yeah, dude, I've learned now, and now I think it's more that because I wouldn't say struggling, but now understanding the importance of money as a 32
mhm,
year old man of going, holy shit, like I want to create a family. I need
yeah,
money to get a house or an apartment.
yeah,
Worse comes to worse. I need money to take care of my girl if that happens to be the case, or obviously my child whenever that may be. But
yeah,
right now, if something were to happen, dude, I'd be like every person in my neighborhood where I'm like, fuck, I gotta get 2 jobs, or I gotta do this, or I gotta stop everything I'm doing and really focus on my kid. And I do want to do that inevitably one day, but I want to be able to fight in the meantime and hopefully at the end of my career have this kid and grow and see what I'm doing. But for me, it's like without being able to have fights, it pushes a lot of things back. Like I planned
mhm,
this year. I had a plan. Obviously, I had a win in May, but I was like, cool, I win, and hopefully fight again in August, September, and then for sure again in December. I want to buy an apartment complex, rent that out, Airbnb, get a house, maybe buy my mom a new car, and figure some things out, life wise, and
yeah,
maybe something with my girlfriend. I don't know. So, but the fact is, like everything gets held back. It's not just money. So it becomes very, very complicated to where you're getting beat up, but now you start to understand, like, damn, I'm getting beat up for free. Those veterans
yeah,
that talked to me when I was 18 years old, talking about, dude, fight for money. Like, yeah, and especially back in my day, it's like, yeah, I have to say that now, but back in my day, like UFC fighters weren't really getting paid enough to live. Unless you were the Chuck Liddell, the Forrest Griffin, all those the Anderson Silva guys. But these guys are still semi working or trying to figure out other stuff on the side, still being wrestling coaches or math teachers or whatever the fucking case may be. So now we can make a semi living off of this, but if you don't fight for whatever reason, especially when you're healthy, it's hard. I think Masvidal talked about it. We're independent contractors that can't fight out of our contract. It's like, oh,
yeah,
what? It's like that's a very shitty experience when and again, Brave lets me and has let me do jiu-jitsu events. And again, I'm hoping to talk to the president to let me do possibly karate combat or boxing events or something in the meantime. But there's also, I get it, the fear of getting hurt or injured, and then there goes their plans for the events. So it's a caveat. There's a give and take, but it's like, dude, right now I'm at the point where like I don't give a fuck. I need to take care of myself right now.
yeah. Well, and that's the thing. It not just about you getting paid, man, but I just from a fan perspective, I love to see you go in like a karate combat. I just love to see you do something, not just MMA, but go to something else as
Mhm.
well, just in general. And I think like the Brave would have to understand that that yeah, like I get that I understand their standpoint. Yeah, they don't insurance why they don't want you to get hurt, and then they have a fight for you, and they say, "Oh shit, Shorty, fuck, you're out because you're you got some, you got hurt or whatever, or you just
Yeah.
got like a bad cut that, yeah, it's not going to heal enough where you're going to be clear to fight for this date. But if I was the promotion right now and say karate combat or whatever you're trying to get into, misfits boxing, whatever, and you had like a quick turnaround fight, I don't see why Brave can't, they have to understand your situation and say, hey, okay, you're not giving me a fight right now, and you're projecting me to December, so let me fight right now. And even if I get, even if I get a little hurt, that's cool. Let me clear up, and I'll be ready for December. That's how it should be. But
Yeah.
I'm hoping for you, Shorty. I hope you can get in a fight, and hopefully
I
we're
appreciate it.
we're gonna see you in the cage.
Oh, I appreciate it. Yeah, you're making me want to hit up Pretty Boy and go, hey man, fuck, I'll fight you. No, I'm actually gonna text him after this and be like, so what's the next Misfits event? Like, I'll take a fight, dude.
Yeah,
What?
yeah.
It's funny because I was like, I'll fight at 130 all the way up to like 180. I don't care because it's all
What?
YouTubers, dude. I don't give a fuck. Like, I'm actually a really good boxer. It's ridiculous. I should have done boxing.
Well, so, um, obviously with your walk around weight and what you got down to, let's say they give you a boxing fight. What's the highest you would go to fight a YouTuber?
A YouTuber 180. Like I think that makes sense. Like I weigh 163 naturally. Dude,
Okay.
I'll put stuff in my pockets and weigh in to fight this guy. Like I've done that before actually. So I don't care. Plus, I have an advantage being a small guy.
Yeah.
And again, I know it sounds dumb right now because in my MMA fights, I don't move at all. But in my boxing fights, dude, I move extremely well because I also don't have to worry
100%.
about knees or kicks or
Yeah.
elbows and all these other things. Like punches, dude, I can maneuver around that, or I know how to take a good punch. Because I'm like again, I'm not at all comparing myself to Canelo, but I know sometimes I'm gonna get punched, I go with it, so I'm good. Like I'm telling you, I'm fucking good at boxing. But
Yeah.
um, I hope one day Misfits or Fan Meal or all these, different, thrillers or events happen to where I'm like, I'd love to just show. So where all I need is one person that I can beat up, whatever weight class, preferably in the
Yeah.
140s, and just go from there. And then if I get to build something from that, especially when my career is slowly dwindling down in MMA, like that's fucking awesome. You know how much better it is on your body to do just boxing? It might suck for my head, but dude, CTE is not real. So, we'll be fine. We'll be fine.
Yeah, yeah, no, and I love to see it, and two, like you bring up a good point too. You being a shorter guy, I mean, typically smaller guys just move faster. I mean, that's why you see like this flyweight fights. I mean, the guys are just flying, um, and and maybe a YouTuber, okay, knows a little bit of boxing skills, and I'm not saying that they look like shit or anything, but you compare them that who's only trained for a sorry, my cat in the background. Um,
You're good.
a fighter, a YouTuber that's only trained for a year and a half, and sure, he's got some skill, like Jake Paul, for example, got a good skill, but you put him against like Fajera or Ngannou, who that helped face off last night. He wants
Mhm.
to fight a heavyweight guy. Fight one of those guys, and I guarantee you, it's gonna be good night Irene for him. But
Yeah.
that being said, but any YouTuber fighting for, or excuse me, training for only a year and a half and wanting to fight someone like you, and they look at it and say, okay, this guy's, five something, okay, and I'm, 5'9" or 6'0", whatever. Um, yeah, they're gonna, okay, they got the size advantage in a sense they think they do, but you move faster and you know how to move. You've done it for so many years where they have a year and a half of, okay, they got some talent, great, but it doesn't matter anyway because you probably whipped their ass and you're getting paid. So that's the main
Fingers
thing. That's
fingers crossed. I just want to fight. Fight to win,
yeah.
fight to lose. I don't care, man. I just need some money right now. I just want to fight. That's it. I never
I th-
thought I'd be at this point in my career where I'm like a fighter begging to fight, and I'm a good fighter. I know I'm a good fighter. Sadly, because of certain circumstances in my career, I haven't been labeled as a great fighter in a long time. So for me, I'm just like, man, I want to prove how good I am,
mhm.
but I can only do that when I fight. So it's like, man, I could be talking all the shit as much as I want back here, but it's like can't really do much until you fight. I feel like the fat guy on the couch. It's like, why he just guillotine him? It's like, come
You got
on,
like the Dorito chips
So
on them. You got the
Yeah, like,
stipple hanging
dude,
down the
there's
shirt.
people
Yeah,
there's people I train with that are world champions or former world
yeah,
champs or fighting or and I'm just like, "Ah, dude, I kick your ass almost every day, and you get this," like, again, I'm happy for my friends, I'm happy for my brothers and sisters, all that stuff, but fuck, I wanna be able to get, like, a small piece of my part of the pie, so, I'm in the hater country right now, so, with President Hate, so it's a process, but with that being said, I know we have a couple minutes left. You've been
yeah.
talking about me, I do wanna ask, how are you? How's everything?
You know what? Things are all right. Just you talk about you just been since your birthday. You just been kind of nonstop. You're tired. Da, da. Me, I'm not tired. All right, like it's been a busy summer. My wife just
Mhm,
fucking cursed in the back. Um,
it's awesome.
but yeah, no, for me, my summer, man, it's been just busy. Like between my job and just everything going on, it seems like go 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 go. But
Mhm.
after hearing you, I'm like, look, what the hell are you complaining about? Like, shut up. And but it's been all right. It's good. And I've been really busy with MMA Unhinged. We're doing a lot of good things. I've been talking with a lot of mentors that are in the journalism and kind of learning a little bit about them. And I think that's kind of where I'm at right now. I'm in the stage right now where I've done it for a couple of years, and I think I know what I know. I think I know everything about it, but I don't. And when I have guys that obviously James Lynch, James Lynch, great guy. I've had chats with him. He's taught me a few things about how to grow and get better, and just in general. And I think that's kind of what I've been doing is taking a step back and learning to grow more. Because again, I'm just a part time journalism, and I never went to school. I didn't, it's all self taught. And it's been good. It's been a good learning process, and it kind of humbled me a little bit because there's things that haven't gone my way, and I had to step back and say, you know what, okay, maybe certain things aren't working out for you. So what do you need to do to get better? And I've just kind of gone back and look at some of the veteran guys and kind of say, hey, what do I need to do? This and this and this. And James has been a really good guy to kind of help me out with. And I've talked with a couple other veteran journalists, and they've been really good to help me out and kind of give me tips and what to do to grow and help the guys there in the UK. So it's been good. And yeah, and I've been really good. I just have to shout out to Lenny from MMA Unhinged. I have to stop calling him boss. He's like, no, buddy, you're my friend. You just call me Lenny.
Yeah.
Stop calling me boss. I'm like, I know, it's just boss. Like, because the guys they're from England, right? So everyone calls each other mate and all that, and they're all over the
Mhm.
and so I just call him boss as like buddy, bro. You know what I mean? Like I just call everybody boss. It's not like hey, you are the boss, even though he kind of is. He owns the outlet. But yeah, it's just kind of no, it's been good, man. It's I just been busy. It's been busy and just like pumping out interviews and just contacting fighters. I think that's probably I had somebody at work, so quickly, I know we're running up on time. I had someone at work. They're like, yeah, so like it must be a lot of work to do all the interviews and journalism. I said, yeah, but it's honestly the hardest part is contacting fighters, working out time zones, because I don't do anything in person. It's working out time zones, what time works for them. Because again, I'm not going to be a dick and be like, yeah, that time doesn't work for me. I try to work on the fighters' time to help them out because, and a lot of the fighters I've been talking with, a lot of them are either they're all prospects or they're a lot of them are all Canadians, so they're trying to get into the big show, and they're working in with Unified MMA, which is like pretty much Canada's biggest regional MMA organization. And I've been talking with them, and so trying to help them out and really working trying to bring MMA Unhinged to Canada. So it's I know Canada's got a lot to offer, so it's been busy, man, but it's been all right.
I'm glad to hear that. I'm glad you're staying productive. I'd rather have a full plate than nothing to eat. So, with that being said, it's like it's a blessing in disguise, whether you believe it or not. And that's awesome. And you're trying to do things for your country too, so that's even better, man. That's awesome.
Hmm. Yeah, we still, I mean, I know everyone thinks Canada is all this and that, but we're still doing all right in here in
You're
Canada.
trying.
So
That's all that matters. You're trying. I always say. I did a mental health post a couple days ago of me running the 10 miles, and I go, when you believe you can't do it, nah, you're probably right. You're probably right, but it doesn't mean you should try anyways. 'Cause you never
yeah,
know what you'll get after. Like, dude, I never thought I'd end up here. Like, I never thought I'd be doing this professionally in my life. You know, like
Yeah,
what kid says they're going to be a pro athlete and then ends up being a professional athlete, doing it full
yeah,
time? Not given I'm not like a football player making millions of dollars, but I'm a professional athlete. That's fucking awesome, you know? So that
hmm,
knows so many stars and all these things. Like I never knew I'd get this, but I tried and look where the fuck I'm at. So, you know, the fact is you might not think anything, you might hell still fail like you expected, but I know for sure if you try, you'll end up getting farther than where you started. That's for sure.
yeah, and it and just a quick note, I really actually, as much as we, we're always talking about, setting up interview or not interviews, but podcasts and episodes and what we're, when we're just conversing. I watched some of your stuff and I like the mental health stuff that you really do, because it's kind of good to kind of have. And I mean mental health, or awareness is it's put out there, but sometimes I think the men get left out, and it's nice to kind of have guys that can just talk about things. And because sometimes you just have those days where you just need
Mhm.
sometimes, yeah, you can talk to people all you want, but when you have another person that kind of talks about it, and whether they're going through it or they just put it out there for other people as motivation, it's really I really value that, man. And I think one of the biggest things that when you post things is that's one of the biggest things I really enjoy looking at is someone who, um, someone that puts it out there and makes it known. And sometimes it, for me, it makes me feel good, man. And it makes me feel good to when I have those days where, maybe I'm just having really, really rough time. And, it was like maybe, I don't know, a month ago and I was having a really rough weekend. And I had to talk to my wife about things. And even then, sometimes, it's sometimes you just need that guy to guy,
Yeah.
romance going on. So, yeah, I really value that, man. And, yeah.
I appreciate that, man. It means a lot. It also helps me keep that motivation to look up more mental health posts and put that out there because obviously it does take time. And 'cause, dude, sometimes like I have hundreds of mental health posts on my saved things on Instagram, and I have to
Yeah.
find three or four that are similar and put them in a hopefully correct order to where people understand. So I appreciate that, man. It adds more motivation for me to look at it every single day and do
Mhm.
that. And for me, my motivation is very external. So you telling me that, I help you in whatever certain way, like it means a lot, man. I appreciate it. And obviously, I'm always here for you and vice versa. But for men, especially, like mental health is very important. And if you can't get it from a partner or you can't get it from your parents or whatever the case may be, talk to another homie. Like, dude, there's someone that's willing to listen to you as much as we fuck around and whatever. Hey, man, let's be serious for a little bit, and they will. They if they really are your friends, they will. So or at least try their best to, and that's all that matters. Again, trying. So I appreciate it, man, dude. I hope you have a good rest of the day. I hope all is well, stays busy in a productive way, and you take care of yourself and keep on doing you. And I can't wait until next time. What was it? And until 15, until number 15.
Until number 15, we are out of here. And Shorty, as always, I know you said you've been tired, but I appreciate you always making the time. And for people watching, be sure to comment, like, and subscribe. Hit that bell button so you get the notifications as soon as we go live or whenever we drop episodes. And yeah, this is episode 14. Thanks, guys, for watching. And Shorty, thanks again for joining as always as my co-host. And we are out of here.
Yee.